Coming up on Mountain News this morning, almost 6 years after the shooting at Marshall County High School, the Commonwealth is still working on putting an officer in every school. And one Eastern Kentucky organization is giving the keys away to a home for a flood survivor in Breathitt County.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 5:31 on October 20th. Now let's check in with Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast on this very, very rainy morning. Brandon, oh, it's supposed to be Friday, but why the rain?
All right, listen, we got to pay the price. We've had some nice weather. We got to pay the piper every once in a while, okay?
Man.
But yeah, it is pretty soggy out there this
It is.
morning. So be careful. Remember what I said earlier about leaves. They're like ice, especially if they fall down and they're wet. So just take care out there as you're traveling. And we'll take a look at the live pinpoint Doppler radar, and we'll see anywhere you see dark green, yellow, orange, even red, that is heavy, heavy rain. A lot of that clustered around some of the region's major cities: Pikeville, Jenkins, Hazard, Whitesburg, Cumberland, Harlan, Middlesboro, Pineville, over into Pennington Gap, Big Stone Gap, Norton, Wise, up toward Grundy and Virginia and Kentucky. So again, just be careful out there no matter where you are this morning, especially in those border counties of the 4 states. Temperatures, these are not going to move a whole lot. Matter of fact, REC Monticello coming down. So 50 in Wise to 57 in Monticello. Basically everybody else, 54 to 56. There's a couple of exceptions out there, mainly in Southwest Virginia, but Pike was a little cooler at 53 and Logan is at 54. Look at the temperature difference from this time yesterday. Several degrees, double digits degrees warmer in some locations to the south. Breakdown, chances for showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, and we've got those rain chances hanging around. They'll become more scattered later today, but they'll be with us all the way into the afternoon and evening hours. Olivia?
All right, thank you, Brandon. It's been almost 6 years since the deadly shootings at Marshall County High School. And yesterday, Kentucky lawmakers were briefed on action plans put into place since a state law required officers on every campus and mandates regarding locked doors and security measures. The number of police officers working in Kentucky public schools is increasing, but more are needed. Out of 1,000 school campuses, 758 are covered by SROs.
We're still lacking, of course, numbers on our SROs and numbers on our mental health providers. But I do want to go over kind of the numbers for the SROs and mental health providers, because we're not going backwards, we're going forwards, and I think that's very important.
Wilcox also says 20 Kentucky districts have their own campus police forces. Late last month, a plane crash in Ohio County left 22-year-old flight instructor Timothy McKellar Jr. and 18-year-old student pilot Connor Kiesenberry dead. Jessica Umbro spoke with an EKU flight instructor who says it's an industry where the young are teaching the young.
Flight instruction is, by its very nature, it does carry a bit more risk than, say, riding on an airline. You know, that's just the nature of the business.
Professor Sean Howard, the chief flight instructor at Eastern Kentucky University, says roughly 80% of all flight instructors have less than a year of experience.
In the most part, it's the young teaching the young. It's constant turnover, and the only people that don't turn over is the core folks like me who are kind of ending out their career and looking at retirement.
Professor Howard tells me that many flight instructors stop teaching altogether, instead opting to fly for a commercial airline. And this has a rippling effect when ensuring that there are enough instructors to teach the next group of students.
With the demand for pilots, there's a demand for instructors. Obviously more young people want to get into it because they see it as something that they can achieve. In about a year's time, they get their 1,000 hours and they have an airline class date and off they go.
And while flight instructors are vital to keeping the industry going, it doesn't necessarily pay like it does.
No one is going to stay flight instructing for, 45 or 50,000 a year when they can walk out the door and double that, in a year's time.
Jessica Umbro, WKYT.
An investigation by the National Transportation Safety Board found that heavy rain was to blame for the crash. 2 people, including a child, are dead after what police are calling a murder-suicide in Southwest Virginia. It happened Wednesday at a home on Coburn Mountain Road in Wise. Just before 9 p.m., Wise County Sheriff's Office deputies were called to the home for a welfare check. When they went inside the home, they found the homeowner, 43-year-old Joshua Gardner, and a young child dead. Their bodies were sent to the state medical examiner's office for an autopsy. One woman is facing several charges following a raid earlier this week. It happened around 5 p.m. Tuesday in the premium community of Letcher County. Officers from multiple law enforcement agencies served a search warrant at a home there. Inside the home, officers found more than 400 grams of fentanyl along with other drugs and nearly $2,100 in cash. Krista Blankenbeckley was arrested and taken to the Letcher County Jail. 2 people are back behind bars in Pulaski County. Wednesday, a deputy with the sheriff's office received a tip about the possible location of one person they were looking for at a home on Chandler Street in Somerset. Police found Judy Hendricks at the home, who already had a violation warrant out on her. They were also looking for Christopher Hendricks, who had escaped from work release in April. He was at another home on High Street in Somerset. Deputies were able to arrest him as well. A man wanted in 2 states has been caught in Kentucky. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office received information Wednesday about Cody Scheindner hiding out in Pulaski County. Early in the morning, deputies went to a home where Scheidner was staying on Fairview Road in Science Hill. They did not find him there, but later received a tip about him hiding out near a barn close to the home in the afternoon. He was arrested and taken to the Pulaski County Detention Center. Police in Lawrence County are looking for a vehicle related to a theft that happened in the area around Food City and AutoZone in Louisa. Take a look at the picture on your screen. Officials with the Louisa Police Department say the vehicle is believed to be a light-colored Dodge Caliber. If you have any information about the case, contact Chief Greg Fugit at the email address you see on your screen. Officials with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet say the reopening of U.S. Route 460 in Magoffin County has been delayed until next Friday. The road has been closed since October 9th due to the relocation of Ivy Point Hill Road. Highway Department officials say detour signs are posted along Kentucky Route 30, the Mountain Parkway, and Kentucky Route 7. Hardy Park in Pike County unveiled a new name and plaque yesterday. The park was renamed John R. Phillips Memorial Park after the late Pike County Deputy Judge Executive. Phillips was an integral part of turning the land into what was Hardy Park, one of his many accomplishments throughout the county. His family and friends and former colleagues gathered for the dedication.
And I've known for a long time something needed to be named after Dad. I see a lot of these bridges with people's names on it, and I thought, wow, Dad not only got the park, he helped get the Belfry Courthouse, the Belfry Fire Department, Tug Valley Housing that's down towards South Williamson.
Richie says the park has always been a part of their family, and he's glad it is now official. Folks gathered in Breathitt County to celebrate a flood survivor getting a new home out of the flood zone. Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman was among those in attendance and handed the new homeowner her key. WYMT's RJ Johnson has more.
Rebuilding homes after the July 2022 flood hasn't been easy for some folks in the region. Thanks to the Team Kentucky Fund, the Housing Development Alliance was able to rebuild new homes out of the flood zone.
Rhonda's house is the 16th house for a flood survivor that we've completed, and we've got 11 more, so that's 27 houses that are being built or have been built across the region.
HDA Executive Director Scott McReynolds says they are helping welcome a new flood survivor home.
So we're here to celebrate the new home for Rhonda and Danica. They were flood survivors, and they've been, like displaced, and now they're getting to come home.
Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman was there to hand Rhonda Whitaker her keys. She says seeing this firsthand means a lot.
It's worth celebrating every time a family gets to move into a new home, and so Rhonda and her daughter Danica get to do that, and so to be able to be here to celebrate that with them and to pass the keys to them on their new home was a really special moment, and I'm so honored to be able to be here with them today.
Saying it's a beautiful example of how they will continue on the road of recovery.
And that's been the most helpful thing to the folks who are doing the work on the ground, is to know that all of the donations made from people across Kentucky and across this country are being put to such good use, and today is a perfect example of that.
In Breathitt County, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Whitaker says she lived in the quicksand community before being flooded. She and her daughter lived in a rental property for nearly a year before moving to this one. Breathitt County was not the only county the lieutenant governor visited in eastern Kentucky yesterday. Coleman was also in Owsley County, presenting more than $1.2 million to that county. The money will go toward repairing roads, supporting cleaner water efforts, and local nonprofits. You can read more about this on our website at WYMT.com. Southwest Virginia is receiving nearly $1 million for its tourism initiative. The Appalachian Regional Commission is awarding the area $980,000 through partnerships for the Power Initiative. The money will be invested in 18 counties, 4 cities, and 51 towns in the area. Congressman Morgan Griffith said in a release, in part, quote, "This workforce initiative will help to boost economic development in the region." Coming up, Taylor Swift is back again with 2 new versions of one of her iconic songs.
And scattered showers and storms will continue for most of today, but things should look a little bit better this weekend. I'll have the latest in about 3 minutes.